Okay, well, we'll go ahead and get started, and I'd like to welcome everyone to the March 11th, 2021 Oconee County Art and Historical Commission. First item on our agenda is the approval for the minutes from the last month's meeting. Do I have a motion? Motion by Melody, and a second?
Yeah, second.
Second. Any changes or updates? Okay. Did I do it right?
Who seconded that?
They both did.
No.
Okay. Then, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Next item, discussion items.
I'm sorry, I didn't put treasurer's report on the agenda.
Oh.
I just wanted you to see the breakout of where you are. And how you've spent your 7,500 so far. The number 3 obviously is in process. And, but I went ahead and noted it because last month's motion was to use up to that amount. So if we don't use it all, then we'll have some back in the coffers. So that's where we are right now. And, we do have a new member tonight, so if we could, Ernie Lombard with District 2 is joining us tonight. So thank you and welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Do you know everyone on the commission or no?
I do not.
Okay, can we go around and introduce everyone? Suzette, you want to start?
I'll take this out. I've had my 2 vaccines, so I'm good.
Haven't.
I'm Suzette Cross, and I represent the Blue Ridge Art Center in Seneca.
Nice to meet you.
I'm Daniel Dreer, and I've been, I guess, on the council a couple of years.
Nice to meet you.
Did you?
I'm Aubrey Meller.
Melody Davis from Gateway Art Center.
It's nice to meet you. And I'm Ernie Lombard. Actually, I live in Mountain Rest, and I'm a private citizen.
Well, not anymore. You're a commission member. Well, you are a private citizen. Thank you.
Okay. So moving on to discussion items. The first will be our partner update for the Historical Pickens Foundation. Ms. Martha Paris?
Yeah.
You're welcome to come up to the podium there. You don't have to.
Me too.
You don't have to, it's up to you.
If I stand up, I'm so short now. That make any difference. Do y'all know about the Historical Pickens Church?
I've been on the property, yeah.
Yeah.
Never been inside it, but
Okay, well, since 1999, it was taken over by a foundation. And it's not really a foundation, that's the word, but you know, that's a loosely interpreted thing. It doesn't have that kind of money. And sometimes writing a grant, that's iffy. But then the windows were broken out and it was just in deplorable condition. The presbytery had it then, and they neglected it as a Presbyterian church. They were afraid to use it as a church for fear it would draw from the Walhalla and Seneca Presbyterian churches in a congregation. And so it just sat fallow. Eventually the foundation was established, and it and the cemetery around it are all that remains of the original site of the town of Pickens Courthouse. And from Pickens Courthouse in, 1868, I think. I'd have to check this. Yep, May of 1868. They divided the district into 2 counties, Pickens and Oconee. And Pickens picked up lock, stock, and barrel and moved to New Pickens. And they dismantled the jail, they dismantled a whole bunch of the places, numbered the buildings, and moved them over there. The only remaining building like that in Pickens that I know of is the Haygood Malden House. The only remaining building that went to Oconee County that we're aware of is the Alexander House at High Falls. The only remaining building that attests to the existence of the original town is the old Pickens Church. It was also used as a meeting place. Now there was a courthouse there as well, because that was where the legal things happened for the whole district, with all kinds of itinerant people coming through to take care of legal matters. And they'll cost them law offices and a little school, and there was a Kiwi courier, can you believe it? And so, anyway, what happened, or happens, is that over time, we have done an awful lot to improve what this looks like. It's really quite a nice place, it's very attractive. And let me tell you about the cemeteries for a minute. When I can find where I wrote that down. Anyway, the cemeteries, there's the Craig Cemetery, which is privately owned. And then adjoining that before you get to the church is what used to be called the Duke Cemetery, but it's no longer that. It's just the bodies that were moved, or the graves that were moved when they flooded Jocassee and Kiwi. And so those in there were moved by Duke. Then when you get behind the church, there are graves there that date back to the Revolutionary War. And we also have, in the kiosk we've built, a grave finder, so that people who would like to know where ancestors are buried can actually see that on one of the panels. ATAX has been good to us in Oconee County, has helped us just most recently put some new panels in about Andrew Pickens himself, because the old ones looked really shabby, and it was time. So that's what we have done. My husband and I met with Mr. Haygood, Bill Haygood, in 2004, and asked him if the building was just sitting there unopened. There was still a wood stove in the middle of the floor. The hole was there with no attaching thing. Asked him if we could have a wedding there. And he said, well, you have to ask somebody. Well, it turns out somebody we had to ask was Jack's uncle, my husband's uncle, so that was okay. So we ended up being the ones who painted and restored a lot of the interior ourselves. We scrubbed the benches. The pews are still the original wood. We've had weddings there multiple times since. They're no good facilities, but people have managed. Had an older couple get married in December, and they found a great big long red runner carpet, and they went up the red carpet into the church, and they were 60s, and she was saying, I never thought I'd do this again, and kids your age were helping decorate for it, so it was delightful. There are good things about this church, and now here's the bottom line. We need board members. If this board dissolves, it will go back to the presbytery. And the people who are on the board now, of the 6 members, 5 are in Pickens. 4 are in Pickens. Most of us are Pickens residents. This is an Oconee place, and we want to draft, urge, do whatever we can to get some Oconee residents to meet with us before we retire. My husband and I will retire September 1st. Carolyn Maddox will retire September 1st. If you don't have a president and a treasurer, you don't have a board.
Right.
And it will just go. And I can't help it. I've been doing it for like 14, 17 years. Done. Sorry. It's getting too far. I live close to Table Rock. We live close to Table Rock. And we just got to get some people on there while we can show them what they can do and how it's going to happen. And then they can have their own ideas, and it'll be great. I've got a list of the board duties. We currently are solvent. We have $12,000. We keep it in store in case we have to do room for window or something.
Right.
Last year, our expenses were roughly $4,200, 2019. We went in the hole for the year last year, or 2019 now, $315. So, we're close to managing. We put out newsletters and ask for donations. We've done all kinds of things. New ideas would be great from younger people. That's what we need. So, anyway, Board of Directors duties, newsletter, brochures, please. Go twist arms. Go talk it up. Also, I've talked to Thomas Alexander, and one of the Craig Women is after all the Craigs over here because it's next to their cemetery. My husband's a Craig, so I can say what I want to. But it's time they picked it up.
Yeah, I was wondering, are any of the people, are there any relative descendants of folks in the graveyards there who, have any involvement with anything?
No, they haven't had.
No.
You know, some of them get married there and say, I want to work on this and do that. And then they evaporate.
Yeah.
So,
And Duke does some things for you, right?
well, they used to mow the yards.
Gotcha.
Or they did it for like a nominal fee. And then they gave it to a new commission or new whatever. And so they couldn't do that anymore. But this year we did go begging for some money and they gave us $500 toward yard maintenance, which is one of our biggest expenses.
Yeah.
So, you just have to go knock on doors. So they do help some and they're very sympathetic. They open and close the gate because of security. And, and the church now, that in-between part that was Duke, it has been deeded to the church. But that means somebody has to mow that too. So, there you go. We need help.
Miss
TikTok.
Paris had emailed me 2 weeks ago, just with their situation, that they had some folks resigning, retiring, if you will.
We had one pass
And,
away this year, bless her heart.
Had
I mean,
one
we
pass
just,
away, and I thought this would be a good time for a partner update to fit them in, to share about the destination and the need for some Oconee board members.
we have it open the second and fourth Sundays from 2 to 5,
Oh,
from
okay.
May to October. Unless it's broiling hot, in which case we put a little sign up with the temperature things on. Because there's a fan only. But the light in there is beautiful. The acoustics are superb. People come there and record and give us a donation. And so, there you go. That's basically what you have to do. And it's as casual as this for meeting. And, if we have to just run something up on email and say, blah, 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 everybody agrees, somebody writes up something that looks official, and it's good. Okay? So it's pretty casual.
We'll make sure everybody gets a copy of those three. Are there any questions for?
Yeah.
Are
Yes, Steve.
you on 183 as you're going towards like Greenville? Yeah, we were there, I don't know, last summer or something, last fall. It's a beautiful place. It
Isn't
truly
it?
is.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I
And
wanted to
since
see
we put up
inside
the
it.
little picnic shelter, we'll see, Duke closes it at night, and then they drive through for a little bit of security. We've also got like Simply Safe up there, and they also drive through because they look out over the Duke Power nuclear thing.
Right.
And so they close the gate at night. And some of them have to come up there and have lunch at the picnic tables, which ATAX helped us buy. And so anyway, that's my gig, that's my thing. Here you go.
Thank you so
Help
much.
yourself.
that was great.
And, anybody, Josh Johnson did volunteer. Do you know Josh Johnson? He's in Seneca at one of the museums in Seneca. I've got one young volunteer already.
Okay.
So I need
So how
about
many open positions are you trying to fill?
3.
3.
3. 3 would do it, 4 would be excellent.
So we have contact information.
Yes, all over the place.
Okay.
And the best thing to do, honestly, my email, rather than my husband, because you understand.
Thank you so much.
Oh, well, y'all have a great evening. Thanks for listening to me.
Absolutely.
And I'm only leaving you. Oh, thank you, y'all. I've had my shots. I'm only leaving because it's back to the house, which is about 40 minutes away, closer to Table Rock, and I don't like deer.
No, I understand that. I've hit a few in my day.
Thank y'all for listening, and, anybody who can think of, twist their arm, tell them it's a good thing, Oconee needs to.
Yeah.
And, they can slowly maintain it, and if we can just turn over the paperwork and the ways and what, then we could leave it and we could feel good about leaving it.
Thank you so much.
Well, I thank y'all. Proud of our holler for the mask rule. That's a good thing. I was at the jockey lot yesterday, I say 2% had a mask on.
Yeah, I guess like she said, talk it up, and if you know of anyone who, or if we're interested, I guess.
I might be interested. I'm on a board of another cemetery, so.
I know the one on Clemson's campus. They're finding all kinds is there, and it's
Well,
becoming a big,
Yeah.
big project. Okay, next item for discussion is our public art mural update.
Outstanding. So, a lot has been done since last month. Thank you to Aubrey and Suzette, who have worked hard to pull together information. Mount New Melody sent some information in for her stuff as well. So I provided you, the data sheet that we're working on. It's the big piece of paper in front of you. Ernie, to catch you up, we've got 20 murals around the county. And, if you're familiar with what the quilt show has done with the little QR code and the information panel with each quilt, then we're working to do the same type thing for the murals.
Oh, nice.
So if you're standing and looking at the mural, you'll be able to click on it. It'll take you the information to share information about the artist. So we're working on that. This data sheet has information about all 20 murals. I did have to close a lot of the blocks so they're not expanded, just so you could see the breakout of everything. But we will work to gather all that. We have completed the web portion. And I was really hoping tonight I'd be able to click on it and show you a sample. But we're making a few tweaks to it before we can start adding content. So Drum Creative is the company that does our Visit Oconee website. And so we've added a piece on there for murals. And Charlotte and Shonda have the most recent data sheet that Aubrey has been working on. And as soon as we're ready, they'll start adding the content to that and be able to have it ready to be public. The next step, there's two next steps. One is the photography. I spoke with Scott McInnes over the last couple of weeks, and he is going to photograph all 20 murals for us for $500, which is extremely in the price range, we'll just put it that way.
Okay.
So, because that's a lot of driving, a lot of travel all over the county and spending some time doing some photography. So, we have secured that. He has already started, and I look forward to seeing those. So once the content and the pictures come together, we'll be able to begin to go live on Visit Oconee with that piece of it. The second step to that, and I haven't got a chance to get to that part yet, is to determine at each mural, do we need a wall plate or a floor plate? That's my next step. I have been swamped this month and I just haven't got to it. So I'll have to go talk to each owner of each building and determine what's gonna work for that property.
Yeah.
I think I can do it over the course of a week, just getting in and out and around, but it's just gonna, I just gotta get to that point. So those are the next two steps for where we are. I'm very excited about
Okay.
where we've come and comments.
There are two murals that I know of that are indoors. Do you want those to be part of it?
It's up to the commission.
Because Melody did one that is hanging in the lower level of City Hall in Seneca.
I just saw that this week when I paid my bill,
Yep, and it's,
and I saw your name beside it.
and that's been there for what, I don't know, six, 7?
2, 3.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's Seneca then and now, and that's absolutely beautiful. So there's that one that's inside. And then Jim and Donna Juris did something at Patriots Hall in Wahala that's just amazing. I haven't seen it for years, but when I saw it the first time, I was just, it's all I think the 7 wars that the United States has been in. So I don't know if you want to include those also, even though they're inside. And Patriots Hall isn't open all the time.
Right.
Because I think you have to,
So they're open Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
oh, are they? Okay.
Well, when they.
During normal conditions.
They're starting to get that.
Yeah.
Okay.
They
When
always want
do
you
we
to
get back to
not.
normal?
Okay, so I don't know if you want to include those two.
That's not me, that's the commission.
Oh,
I think my concern right now is with our budget, and we've based it on this certain amount. What I would suggest doing is, we've got this data sheet that we just add to it as more are coming on, like the last one, I don't think is completed, the flag on the
Right.
side of Mayberry.
it's close, but it's not done yet.
It's not, yeah. And so that one we added at the very end. But I'm just wondering if we proceed with what we have now and then, you know, I mean, my hope would be that this expands, you know, and that each year we're able to add more, do maintenance if we need to signage, if, you know, and use some of our funds each year for this, as well as hope that it takes off and gains interest, and maybe we can start to add other things, you know, and not just murals, but, you know, sculptures, if there's, you know, sculptures, or if we go into historical aspects or something like that. But I don't, budget-wise, I don't know if we have funds.
So I'll answer that. From the website standpoint, you're gonna pay the one price, the $1,500 to build it, and then we're gonna be able to add as many as we want layer-wise. So there won't be any budgetary additional to add them. You'll just have a photographer fee if there's a cost to go take 2 more pictures. So that's all, and then the price for whatever the city wants me to use, or Patriots Hall wants me to use, either the floor model or the wall mount. Now, did I see just your name on the one in Seneca, or was there also a plaque, Melody?
Excuse me?
In the downstairs of City Hall?
I don't even remember, I don't remember.
Okay.
She
Well,
probably knows
there's
better
a
than I
plaque,
do.
no, there's a plaque
I
there
know
that
the
has,
name
But
on it, I couldn't remember if it was a plaque or if it was
yeah,
a,
I'm quite sure there's a plaque there.
okay.
I have 4 new ones that I'm getting ready to do. In Seneca, I have Green Springs, doing the whole wall, inside, interior, so people be able to go in on all business hours. I have a coffee bar, which is going into a garage on 123 across from our building. The downtown bar and grill, I'm doing a patriotic eagle mural, and then I have a multicultural mosaic that's going next to the big mural that I did in downtown Westminster, starting this spring.
So, as you can see, it will expand.
Yes.
And it'll just be, you know, getting the information added to the sheet, getting it to Charlotte and Shauna to get added to the website. Yes, ma'am.
Something, not now, but maybe later in the fall. I did this a few years ago in Clemson, and they had a bus tour, and you went to various art galleries in Clemson. And this might be something when people feel safer towards the end of summer, first of fall, to have a bus tour, and people can go to the various places, and, you know, there could, you know, I don't know what that could turn into, but it's a possibility.
Any other updates that I'm not aware of? I know you guys probably talked to some folks or talked to each other since last month on the murals.
I was just wondering about future projects. Do we start building the foundation for future projects right now? Because I have there's a few ideas that I think we could do later on. And it would be a good collaboration with BRAC if we did it. It might not really cost that much, but maybe we should start thinking about that. I mean, we're working on this right now. So.
What do you mean, Melody? What are you thinking
I
about?
was thinking about doing, if we can find a place to put these. Kids' art, like from camp and then from your art show, the school art shows.
Yeah, we haven't done that for a while, but we did.
But you will be,
Yeah.
you will be. And then honoring the heritage quilts, like the symbolism. We could probably fill a whole side of a building with, they all mean something.
Yeah.
The basic quilt squares.
Uh-huh.
So I'm thinking that maybe we could shoot for that, think about it, just do some groundwork and see if maybe in the future we can find some way to do it.
What I would recommend, back to you commission members, is you're coming up on the end of this year. you've got your project and your money spent. So maybe the next month's meeting, we start adding a 2021, 2022 planning line item to each meeting moving forward, so that we can start having these discussions and bringing specific things to the table.
Yeah.
So that you can start laying those things out.
Yeah, because we did, I mean, we talked about the calendars and as something we were going to print with this year's money, and then, but did we,
I think we ended up using this year's money
on the mural?
On the website,
On the website. So we probably, yes, next month, we'll need to make time to discuss projects and decide if we want to, what our ideas. Maybe it will be more of a discussion meeting and not so much any types of action, and everyone could come prepared with projects or suggestions. I would say one thing when I first came on this board that I didn't fully understand is the history and the mission of the commission. What we're here to promote and to encourage and to preserve, but that doesn't necessarily mean we do the things, you know? So a lot of what, like having our partner updates, like we support our partners in finding out what they need. So a lot of this with COVID this past year, the first half we did mini grants and opened it up so that, and a lot of our partners took advantage of that. So it wasn't us doing things, but helping them do things. And for this year, it was just really survive. But I think we all have ideas that we can come and bring and discuss, and did I say? I'm right, I want to make, I've gone through, it's hard. It's hard to understand what we can do and what is the best way to do it. But I also think with this commission is getting very energetic and has great ideas, and from the history and to where we are now, I think that that's a good sign. So I want to encourage everybody to participate and bring items to the table. And just as a reminder, we'll have, well, we don't know how much because the next year's budget has not been
Yeah, I won't do that
finalized.
until the council passes the budget.
Okay.
It's been at this same amount for a number of years, so unless a major change, then that would be what I would expect moving forward. But I'll prepare and bring, like the ordinance with the mission and everything, so that everybody can see that as we start the planning process. That way you guys can talk through those.
It should be in our packet when you join the board. It has the,
Yeah, it has the ordinance.
the ordinance.
I was
and
given it.
everything. Okay. I was gonna ask about the upkeep and maintenance of the website. Is that, staff that's
Mhm, it
doing
is.
that? Okay,
Yeah, we have a third-party creative team that builds and manages and hosts the website and does our changes for us. But the content side is done through staff. So any
okay,
content changes, we can do in-house, any updates, any
Okay.
additions, we can do all of that. We just had to get the web builder to add the pages for this particular section.
and do we have, on the photographs, requirements or, what I'm thinking is some artists may have already paid at some point someone to come and take
Right.
photos, and if that would help reduce our cost, but they meet the requirements, we need for the website for anything. I know when I was putting it together, several of them reached out to me and said, do you need a photograph? And I said, well, you know, I think we're gonna have a photographer do them all this first round, but you know, thanks you for telling me. I'll note that in case we need.
Yeah, I think it was a recommendation from the commission last month to have one photographer do them all for the website. We did reach out to the web designer and give Scott, the photographer, what he needs to build what size they need to be minimum. And so he knows those things, and he's gonna be working on those to make sure that what he turns into them meets their requirements.
Okay,
Yeah, that was done early on.
okay. Any other questions or discussions for the mural update? Okay. Next meeting then. So we've highlighted, our next meeting will be April 8th. If you know that you can't make it or there's a scheduling conflict, of course, let us know so we can make sure we have a quorum. And then the May 20th and November 18th dates, as a reminder, are for scheduling of the room. We have changed those to 5 p.m. They'll still be here, but they will be at 5 p.m. Those are Thursdays still?
Yeah, same day, it's just there's a meeting at 6 o'clock behind us. And those are actually not, they fell on different Thursdays of the month, so when we did that and made our changes, someone already had the room at 6, so we're going at 5, because we're typically done by 5:30, 5:45, and then they'll come in right behind us at 6. And any agenda items that, just as a form of order, that you want to see on the agenda for the month, make sure and get them to me. I'll make sure and get them to Aubrey. Our rules tell us that we have to have them on our agenda for the public to be able to discuss those. So by having the planning on next month's agenda, then we'll be able to kind of have a little workshop and y'all can talk about those kind of things.
Okay. Final item is a motion to adjourn?
I just had one idea, for publicity. I don't know how many murals we have, but, I don't know if the Journal could do something and do the mural of the month. And every month they would take, have the picture, we could maybe provide the picture from Scott. And then have the information about the artist, and people could see the picture, and maybe it would encourage them to go visit them. Just some more publicity other than the website.
We can check on that.
Okay.
For sure.
Motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
I second.
Okay. Thank you, everyone, for attending.